sucked. And it's just like, but can you really blame them at the end of the day? Because that's what they showed us. So they can't get mad at me for a paying customer, literally a paying customer, to come and watch this movie that I'm being told is like the movie of the year, the next great movie. And I'm sitting here watching, and I'm like, it was a good movie, but are we not going to talk about just the which we already knew was going to happen anyways, just because the time that it was taking place in anyways? We knew that Ryan Coogler was not going to be able to contain himself from throwing this in. Let's go ahead and get into this, because I went ahead and saw Sinners a couple days ago. And normally when I go see a movie, I actually go see it on the first day it comes out, or at least the first weekend it comes out. But I was kind of sitting on the fence. I saw some reviews. I didn't watch any spoiler reviews or read any spoiler reviews. I just wanted to see what's the general consensus on this movie, because again, it's a Ryan Coogler movie. So I'm like, I'm never too sold on Ryan Coogler. So that was one. But two, there was actually good reviews on this movie, and from actual people that I trusted. So I was like, all right, cool, I'll go see it. Now, going into this movie, I already knew the time, the time frame that it was taking place in, right? So I already knew the whole Jim Crow, and they're living in the South, or traveling from Chicago back down to the South. And so I already knew all of that. Still going into this movie somewhat blindly, because I'm being told by some people it is a vampire movie. Well, I was proven wrong when I actually sat down and watched this movie. So it wasn't just good reviews that brought me to this movie. There is a certain screenshot of a certain part of the movie with Kate Bishop, or the chick who plays Kate Bishop. I keep wanting to call her Seinfeld. Is it Haley Steinfeld? Not Seinfeld. But yeah, I saw a screenshot of her in a movie, and I was like, all right, Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, you got Delroy Lindo in this movie too, which I thought he would play a bigger part than what he actually played in the movie, but nonetheless, I mean, he was in the movie throughout the whole thing, but whatever. Everybody did great in this movie. So I'm going to start off with that. The performances were great. Every actor, every actress, the cousin from Transformers, Anthony Anderson's cousin in Transformers was in it. He was good in the movie. The vampires were good in the movie. So again, storyline wise, good. Character wise, good. That's why I'm saying it's a good movie. And the reason why I didn't do an out of the theater reaction coming out of this movie, just to touch on that real quick, because I was going to do it, and as you guys know, I used to do that a lot. But I told myself I'm going to sit on this at least for a day or two, and then just do it, not a review, because this isn't a review. I don't really do reviews on my own like that. But this is just me giving my thoughts on the movie coming out of it. My opinion has not changed since I got out of the theater. But I had to make sure that this is exactly what I thought, sitting on what I just watched for 2 hours, right? I'm being told, because I'm watching someone review, because after seeing it, obviously I'm not going to get spoiled anymore. But I'm like, it's a good movie, but this is the same kind of paint by numbers stuff that we get from not only Ryan Coogler, but every time we get a majority black casted movie nowadays. And again, other than Creed, because Creed wasn't super, not even anything like that, right? And neither was this movie if you really think about it. But at the end of the day, one of the things and one of the plots of the story involved, well, you guessed it, the KKK. So are we just going to sit here and ignore the fact that that's going on in the movie? Are we going to say, and again, I'm not saying the movie's woke at all. But what I'm saying is we cannot ignore that that's part of the story. We cannot ignore that, once again, first of all, this ain't a vampire movie. So let's get that out of the way. So anybody saying this is a vampire movie, anybody saying that Ryan Coogler needs to give his flowers to... Bro, I'm telling you right now, if I'm Quentin Tarantino, I ain't accepting no flowers from Ryan Coogler. All right? This ain't no From Dusk Till Dawn. Get that shit out of here. First of all, you had the two brothers and the cousin, Sam, who's played by Miles Canton. I'm not too familiar with Miles Canton, but I just know that's his name. So I at least, want to give him respect because he played he was great in this movie too. But I don't think I've ever seen any of his work or anything like that. So, but hey, great actor. At the end of the day, you guys do realize that one of the last scenes of this movie is Michael B. Jordan's character. Well, I guess you could say one of his characters is mowing down a bunch of gangsters who were just so happen to be, well, you guessed it, white. This wasn't like black versus white type of movie or anything like that. But again, we cannot ignore those kind of scenes. We cannot, not even those kind of scenes. We cannot ignore those scenes that are put in the movie right in front of our faces. We can't ignore the fact that you decided to put this quote unquote vampire movie. And again, I don't think even Ryan Coogler calls it vampire movie. So I don't want to, even though I don't really like his movies like that, I don't really think he's as great of a director as people think he is and people say he is. And as many opportunities as he's given with really big, and I wouldn't say, let me rephrase that. I'm kind of salty because he ruined Black Panther for me with Black Panther 1 and 2. Even though Wakanda Forever is way worse than the first one. At least the first one was like kind of a layup with Ryan Coogler. He had a layup and he got it in there, but it was kind of sloppy. It was like rolling around the rim and then went in. Black Panther is one of those movies. Nonetheless, after watching this movie and seeing that scene, or that scene where he's mowing down the white dudes in the end, and we were told at the beginning of the movie anyways, and even throughout the movie, I think at some point the vampires allude that, hey, the KKK's coming anyways, and we already knew they were anyway, whether it's vampires or not. So I kind of didn't understand that either. So at the end of the day, we knew that kind of showdown was going to happen. And then he kind of wanted to sprinkle vampires in it. That's the way I kind of look at the movie. But again, not in a derogatory sense or a negative sense of like, it doesn't take me out of the movie. It's just like, they decided to put this in the movie. You decided to place this movie in the fucking 30s. Just so happened. So, again, like, good movie. Great actors. Perfect casting. I thought Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan had great chemistry. He had great chemistry with old girl when he was the other twin too. Again, the cat who plays Sam, Miles Canton, outstanding performance. Cousin from Transformers, who I need to know his name because he was in Ballers too. He's in a bunch of shit, man. And I feel really bad for not knowing his name, or at least not remembering his name. I bet you somebody said his first name, I probably remember right now, but I don't really feel like looking. But before I end this video, let's just go ahead and take a look at a review real quick. Because I don't want people to kind of misunderstand or misconstrue of what I'm saying. Okay? And the reason why I say that is because you got people like this chick, this Autumn lady, right? I'll go ahead and read this because I don't want you guys to think, even though, let's just go ahead and read it. Y'all know how I get. I just start rambling. She says, the sad reality is, if you remove the vampires from this film, the outcome remains unchanged. The black characters were always prey, with clan members ultimately always going to show up uninvited and suck the life and joy out of black culture. To me, I get what she's saying, and she is kind of right when it comes to this movie. But that's not a summary of the movie. It's a summary of a part, and again, a theme, a very clear theme of the movie. But Ryan Coogler is trying to juggle 5 different genres in this movie, which to me is why I think at times I'm just not too hip with how some of this these mindsets work with some directors, and whether I'm just not privy to some certain things. This is not what the movie's about. I don't want people to think that. But her review is, because this is her review of the movie. It's her summary of the movie. And that's just a summary of the part of the movie. So I don't want people to think that me and her are on the same page with that, because I'm not with this ain't my summary of the movie. It's about the two brothers, Smoke and Stacks, or Stack. Y'all know how black people are, man. We put S at the end of everything, so I think it's just Stack. I got to look that up too. Very unprepared for this video, but whatever. And for the people that saying that there's, like, I saw somebody saying there's two predators, preying on their victims and preying on black people in the movie. It's the vampires and the whites, and it's just like, but can you really blame them at the end of the day? Because that's what they showed us. So they can't get mad at me for a paying customer, literally a paying customer, to come and watch this movie that I'm being told is like the movie of the year, the next great movie. And I'm sitting here watching, I'm like, it was a good movie, but are we not going to talk about just the which we already knew was going to happen anyways, but just because the time that it was taking place in anyways, we knew that Ryan Coogler was not going to be able to contain himself from throwing this shit in. And that's a fault on mine for paying money to go see this movie when I could have just watched it elsewhere, to be honest, and save my money. But I'm being told, go watch it in theaters. And I did. I watched it in theaters. Cinematography, great in this movie. Some of the shots, really great shots in this movie. And I'm an action guy, so I like the action in the movie as well. Didn't really feel any horror element to it, but I could kind of see where people were trying to kind of force that. Ryan Coogler does really great with horror. It's not a horror movie either. It's not any horror elements to the movie. That it takes place at nighttime. You get some fire and dark and some good lighting camera, I guess maybe. But I didn't see it. Just like I didn't really look at this as a vampire movie. Just a movie with vampires in it. I don't know, man. Again, I don't want you guys to think I'm shitting on the movie. To shit on the movie. I'm just letting you guys know there are some parts that they're trying to either undersell and not mention, which, look, if you don't have to virtue signal and do this, which they haven't done this for this movie, at least from what I've seen with the rollout and their promotion with this movie, at least they're smart on that end. But when you actually go sit down and watch the movie, if you're calling this the movie of the year, this shows you the kind of time frame that we're in. This shows you how horrible movies are nowadays. And they are horrible nowadays. There was a movie that just came out called Novocaine that had Jack Quaid in it, playing the same character he plays in The Boys. Literally. To me, we got robbed. We still got robbed. Just because we get a good movie, and that's what this movie is. It wasn't great. It wasn't this next, we got to hold it up to this pedestal. Oh my God, Ryan Coogler made the greatest movie of all time. No, not even close. I might watch it a second time because it is again, like I said, good movie. Not great. But I'm sure once it gets on the streaming, I'll probably watch it one more time. But it's not one of those movies where I'm going to sit there and keep thinking about it like, because I already done that. I spent the past day and a half just thinking on this movie, letting it simmer a little bit because I'm like, maybe I'm wrong. Because I'm not hearing anybody saying the shit that I'm saying. A very small minority, I guess. No pun intended. But at the end of the day, I haven't seen anybody express what the fuck I'm saying. Because this right here is it's like an over, I don't even know what you would call this. But this is definitely an overstatement of what she's saying of the whole movie, of the movie as a whole. So, again, kind kind of went over her head a little bit. Maybe she focused a little more on that for the entire movie. I didn't. It's not like I was sitting there thinking about the KKK scenes, the whole movie, or anything like that. But I'm just like, well, we knew Ryan Coogler just couldn't help himself. Pretty much. That's all it was. But anyways, man, let me know what you guys think, man. Hit me up in the comments. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. Who knows? And again, it's just my opinion. Maybe I'm neither one of those. So hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy Corn, and I am OUT.